Hello everyone, my name is Ashley. Today we will be doing a 30-minute beginner flow designed to introduce proper alignment and work into downward facing dog. All you need is a mat and 2 blocks. Let's begin by sitting up nice and tall on one of our blocks. Roll the shoulders back, navel into our spine. Let's drop our chin to our chest and roll our head to the right. And then roll our head to the left, taking our time to stretch out the back and the side of our neck. Let's roll over to the right side again, maybe stopping in places that feel a little bit sore or tight today. And then roll back over to the left side. Let's come back to center. And let's move our shoulders. So roll your shoulders back and then add your elbows, making big circles, and then reach through those fingertips all the way back and reverse. Roll your shoulders forward, then your elbows, and then reach through those fingertips as you take a nice big circle forward. Let's repeat that again. Try to make nice big circles. Really extend all the way through to your fingertips. Last time. Very nice, everyone. Let's come into some lateral bends. So let's reach our right arm up and over our ear. Maybe taking your gaze up to the ceiling. And then come back up to center. And let's cross our midline and twist, looking over that left shoulder. Keep your collarbones nice and wide. And recover, coming back to center. Repeating to the other side, so reaching your left arm up and over your ear, opening up the side of your body. Come back up to center and cross your midline and twist, looking over your right shoulder. And float back to center. Let's shift into a tabletop position, moving your block to the side. Make sure your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are underneath of your hips. Let's drop our belly down and take your gaze up, and then navel to spine, round, dropping the head. And repeat that again. Drop the belly down, open through the collarbone, keep your eyebrows nice and soft, and then round through the spine, navel in. Let's come back to a neutral spine and look over to the right, bringing your tail and your head together, back to center, and then look over to the left, making little C curves with your spine. Again, look over to the right, bringing your tail and head together, back to center, and look over to the left. Back to center. Let's release our left fingertips forward to the top of our mat. Keep your navel into your spine. Lift the arm up all the way to the ear and tap your fingertips down. Lift and lower. 2 more times. Lift, lower. Last time. Lift and lower. Place your hand back and reach your right toes back. Same thing. Let's lift the leg, engaging our glute, and lower. Again, lift and lower. Try not to arch through the spine. Keep your navel in. 1 more time. Lift and lower. Let's combine these movements. So reach your left fingertips forward, lift everything up, and lower. 3 more times. Working on our balance. and working our core. Hold here and let's pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set everything down back to your tabletop position and shift your hips back, taking a brief child's pose. And let's shift back up to our tabletop for the other side. Release your right fingertips towards the front of your mat and repeating. Lift and lower. Just lift to the ear and lower. 2 more times. Nice long spine. And come back. Release your left toes back, straightening out the knee. And again, lift, engage your glute, and lower. Keep your navel into your spine. 2 more times. Last one. And combination. Right fingertips forward, lift everything up and lower. Belly button into spine and lower. 2 more times. Last one, and hold. Pulses for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job, everyone. Set your knee and your hand down and press back into another child's pose. Come back up to center and get ready for thread the needle. Let's peel our left arm up to the ceiling and thread our fingertips through our arm. Set the back of your shoulder and the back of your head on the mat. Press into your right hand and maybe take your gaze up to the ceiling, coming into a spinal twist. Try to keep your hips over your knees. And come back, reaching those fingertips up and placing the hand on the mat. Let's do the other side. Peel the right fingertips up to the ceiling and thread through the arm. Again, placing the back of the shoulder and the head on the mat. Really pressing into the left palm and maybe taking your gaze up to the ceiling and keeping those hips over your knees, coming into a spinal twist. Release those fingertips back up to the ceiling and come back to your tabletop. Let's walk our hands forward, coming in to a very gentle puppy stretch. So slowly walk your hands to the front of your mat. If you need a block for your forehead, you can go ahead and grab it. And just set your forehead down on the mat. Feel a nice opening through the heart. Really let your head melt through your arms. And reverse and slowly walk yourself back up to your tabletop. Let's tuck our toes and walk our hands all the way back to our feet. Coming into a ball. Send your hips up and your heels down and keep your knees soft, especially if you have tight hamstrings. And then pressing through the floor, slowly roll all the way up until you are standing. Let's walk to the front of our mats. Spread your toes nice and wide, feeling all 4 corners of your feet on the mat. Roll your shoulders up and back, bring your belly button into your spine, and drop your tailbone down towards the floor. Let's take an inhale and reach our fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. And exhale, take the arms back down. Let's repeat that again. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, back down. On the third one, inhale, reach up, bend your knees, crease at your hips, and come into a nice soft forward fold. Grab your blocks and place them on the outsides of your feet. Let's step our left leg back into a lunge position. Set the knee down and make sure your right leg is at a 90-degree angle. You can stay right here if you're working on your balance, or you can come all the way up. Place your hands on your waist. Tuck your tailbone under to increase the stretch in your left hip flexor, and then drop your chin to your chest. Bring your head up and reach for your blocks, and let's shift our hips back, moving the blocks with us. Scoot your right foot forward a little bit, flex the ankle and the toes, coming into a hamstring stretch. Keep your spine nice and long and your belly button in. If you need to bend the knee, please do so. Let's rebend the front leg, move your blocks forward, tuck your toes, lift the knee, and step into your forward fold, and relax over, rolling up all the way to standing. Let's repeat that on the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, take the arms down. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, back down. Third time, inhale, reach the arms up, creasing at your hips, bend your knees, forward fold. This time, let's step our right leg back into our lunge. If you are working on balance today, just keep your hands on the block and maybe play with coming up and going back down to them. If you would like to, bring your hands to your waist, tuck your pelvis under, and drop your chin to your chest. You will feel a stretch in the front of your right hip flexor. Bring your head up, reach for your blocks, and shift them back and move your hips back, lengthening out your left leg. Scooch the leg forward, flex the left ankle and toes, coming into your hamstring stretch. Keep your spine long, navel in, feeling a stretch on the back of your leg. Again, if you need to keep your knees soft, please do so. Rebend your front leg, shift your blocks forward, tuck your back toes, lift the knee, and step into your forward fold. Maybe lengthen out the knees a little bit more since our hamstrings are getting warmer. And slowly roll up to standing. Let's reach our arms up. Inhale, creasing at your hips. Exhale, forward fold. Let's step our left leg back to a lunge position. Make sure the front leg is at a 90-degree angle and the back knee is nice and long. Let's move our blocks towards the back of the mat and shift our hips backwards, lengthening out our front knee. If you need to keep the front knee bent, please do so. Make sure that your hips are square, pointing towards the front of the mat. Keep your belly button into your spine and your shoulders away from your ears. Let's shift forward into our lunge and move our blocks off to the side. Place your hands on the mat and sink your hip flexor into the mat. Let's step our right foot back, lower your knees down, uncurl the toes. Keeping your elbows into your ribs, slowly lower yourself all the way down. Roll your shoulders back, squeezing your shoulder blades together, and lift into a small arch. Lower back down, navel to spine, one push-up. Tuck your toes and walk your hands back to a ball. Drop your head, send your hips up, and let's roll up until we stand. Walk to the front of your mat, and let's repeat all of that on the other side. Inhale, reach your arms up, creasing at the hips, forward fold, reaching for those blocks. Let's step our right leg back this time into a long lunge, 90-degree angle in the front leg and lengthening through the back leg. Move your blocks back and shift your hips backwards into your hamstring stretch. Just a reminder to keep those hip bones facing the front of your mat and keeping your front knees soft if you need to. Keep your belly button in to maintain a nice long spine. Rebend the front knee, move your blocks off to the side, and place your hands on the mat. Coming into an intense hip flexor stretch. Try your best to find length in the back knee. Send your left leg back, knees down, uncurl the toes, elbows into your ribs as you slowly lower all the way down. Roll the shoulders back, bringing the shoulder blades together, opening up through the heart. And lower back down. One push-up, tuck your toes, and walk yourself back into a ball. Send your hips up into a forward fold, lengthening out the knees as much as you can, and roll all the way up to standing. Let's walk to the front of our mats, standing up nice and tall. Reach the arms up, and this time try to take a nice flat back with long knees as you crease at the hips going into your forward fold. Grab your blocks and relax into your forward fold. Step your left leg back into a nice strong lunge, lengthen through the back knee. Stay here if you need support, or bring your hands to your waist and bring your back up. Tuck the pelvis under and bring your navel to your spine so you feel a stretch in the front of your left hip flexor. And if you can, go ahead and reach your fingertips all the way up to the ceiling, keeping your arms by your ears. Let's lengthen out the front knee, bring your hands to your waist, and rotate to the side of your mat. Reach your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, and open the heart, coming into a chest expander. Keep your navel into your spine so you don't flare through the ribs. Release, bring your hands back to your waist, bend your knees, creasing at your hips, come into a forward fold. Let's reach for one of our blocks and place it vertically in front of our nose, just so we have some support. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can rotate your block so it is horizontal. And then just stay here with a nice long spine. If you can, go ahead and lengthen out the knees or keep them soft. Let's bring our hands back to our waist and bring our torso up. Let's shift back into our lunge, bringing our arms up to our ears, bending the front knee and keeping the back knee straight. Place your hands down on the mat And let's step back into a plank position, knees down, and lower all the way to your stomach. Roll the shoulders back, coming into an arch, maybe coming up a little bit higher this time, and lower yourself down. One push-up, tuck your toes, and walk yourself back to a ball. Coming into a forward fold and slowly roll up to standing. Go ahead and walk to the front of your mat. I'm going to turn around so I'm facing you when we are in the wide-legged forward fold. So standing nice and tall at the top of your mat, reach your arms up and then coming into a flat back, creasing at those hips. Reach for your blocks and forward fold. Step your right leg back this time, keeping that left leg at a 90-degree angle and lengthening through the back knee. Take your hands to your waist and tuck your pelvis under. If you can, go ahead and reach those fingertips all the way up to the ceiling and keep your arms by your ears. Let's lengthen out the front knee, take your hands to your waist, and rotate coming into that wide leg stance. Let's take our hands behind us, interlace your fingers, coming into our chest expander. Again, make sure you keep your navel into your spine so we don't flare through our ribs. Release the hands back to our waist, bend the knees, creasing at your hips, keep your spine nice and long, coming into your forward fold. Take the block, place it vertically for support. Stay here, or if you would like to, flip the block horizontally and come into that forward fold. Maybe lengthening out the knees if that feels good for you. Let's bring your hands back up to our waist and come up to standing. Rotate and bend your left knee, lengthen out the right knee, and bring the arms up by the ears coming into your lunge. Take your hands down to the mat, step back to your plank, knees down, navel in, elbows in, and lower all the way down. Roll the shoulders back, coming into your arch, maybe a little bit higher this time, and lower all the way down. One push-up, tuck your toes, and walk yourself back to a ball, coming into your forward fold, and slowly roll all the way up to standing. Let's move into some core and balancing poses. So go ahead and take your blocks and shift them off to the side because we will not need them anymore. So let's stand at the top of our mat to transition. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, flat back, forward fold. Step one leg back and then the other leg back, coming into a plank position. Set both of your knees down, coming into tabletop. Place your forearms on the mat and interlace your fingers together. We're going to be coming into a forearm plank. Press the floor away with your forearms, nice strong shoulders. Step one leg back and then the other, and keep your hips down so they are in line with your head and your shoulders. Keep your belly button in and squeeze your inner thighs together and just breathe in this balance and core pose. Bring one knee in and then the other, coming into a rested position. We're going to repeat that one more time. This time I want you to really press through those shoulders as much as you can, bringing your belly button in and again squeezing those thighs together. We're going to hold this position a little bit longer this time. So step one leg back and then the other. Keep those hips down and hold here. Just breathe. Keep those legs tight. Keep your hips down and keep pressing through your shoulders. You're almost there. And release. Take one knee down and then the other and sit back to a rested position. We're going to move into some side planks. Come to your left side and place your left forearm on the mat. Your knees will be in line with your hips. Place your right hand on your waist. We're going to press the mat away, lifting our hips up and pressing into our left forearm. If you can, go ahead and release your right arm up to the ceiling and maybe take a peek up to those fingertips. Keep your belly button into your spine and just keep pressing into the forearm and lifting those hips up. Almost there. And release. Nice job, everyone. Let's repeat that on the other side. So coming to your right side, place your right forearm on the mat. Make sure those knees are in line with your hips. Keep your belly button into your spine and place your left hand on your waist. Make sure the elbow is right underneath of the shoulder and press your mat away, lifting your hips up. If you can, release your left fingertips up to the ceiling and maybe turn your head up. Again, keep pressing and lifting the hips up. You're almost there. You can do it. And release back down. Excellent job, everyone. We're going to do some lead up poses into our downward facing dog. So let's shift into a tabletop position. And we're going to walk our hands forward into our puppy stretch again, like we did in the beginning of class. I really want you to send your head through your arms as we do the same thing in our downward facing dog. Really find a lift through the tailbone and a nice long spine. Walk your hands back and let's work into our downward facing dog. Tuck your toes and lift your knees and send your tailbone up to the ceiling, sending your head through your arms. Really press through your thumbs and your pinkies, creating a nice long spine. And then from here, go ahead and straighten out your right knee and then bend. And then lengthen out the left knee and bend. Let's repeat that again, walking our dog, sending your right heel down and bend, and then send your left heel down and bend. Shift forward, set your knees down, coming into your tabletop, and then shift back into your child's pose, just taking a break. We're going to repeat this one more time. So come forward, tuck your toes, lift your knees, send your tailbone up to the ceiling, head through the arms, pressing through your thumbs and your pinkies, creating a nice long spine. And let's walk our dog. So right leg and left leg and right and left. Now bend both knees, and if you can, try your best to straighten out both legs. If your spine starts to round when you straighten out your legs, keep your knees bent. I would rather you have a nice long spine and bent knees than a rounded spine and straight knees. And then round forward into your tabletop position and shift back into a well-deserved child's pose. Great job, everyone. Let's roll up, shift off to one side, and send our feet through to a seated position. Let's come into a reverse tabletop. So place your hands behind you, fingertips facing your pelvis or facing away. Press your feet into the mat and press your hips up to the ceiling. If it feels okay, go ahead and drop your head back. Really press the mat away. Really send those hips up as much as you can, coming into a counter pose. If your head was back, go ahead and tuck the chin and send your hips down to the mat. Let's come into a seated forward fold. Lengthen the legs out in front of you and flex the ankles and toes. If you have tight hamstrings, go ahead and bend the knees. If it's okay, go ahead and lengthen the knees. Inhale, reach the arms up and start to fold over your legs, keeping a nice long spine. And when you cannot go any further, go ahead and round over and release into the stretch. Remember to relax your shoulders away from your ears. And then lengthen out through the fingertips and come back up. Let's come into a cross-legged position and fingertips out to the side. Reach your right arm up and over, coming into a lateral stretch. Come back up to center and coming into our spinal twist, just like we did in our warm-up. Come back to center. Reach your left arm up and over. And up to center and come into a spinal twist, looking over your right shoulder. And release. And let's take one more inhale, reach your arms up and exhale back down. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Please like this video and leave a comment on how you did today. Also, I would love if you subscribe to help this community grow and reach other people. I'll see you next time. Bye.